Yeah.
No, we've talked about
Really bashed
houses
the
and real
government.
estate, and this week we saw that Harambee Sacco, which happens to be the third largest Sacco, whose members mostly come from the civil service docket.
Which are the biggest?
I think
Steamer.
Sacco.
Steamer.
I'm not sure about the numbers.
Vetima.
Steamer
come on,
Sacco,
come on.
Police Sacco, the one of the top. So Harambee Sacco is selling 16 of its properties in Nyali, Mombasa County. This is in a bid to, better their cash flow position. And we've seen they've resumed it, actually. They had put it on hold because the market was not very friendly. I am of the opinion that the market is still not that friendly, but they need the cash to boost their cash flow. And we've seen that many Saccos have been caught, in this push and pull where many Saccos invested in land. They bought huge tracts of land so that, in future they could sell to their members and the likes. And now with the real estate market being where it is at the moment, most of them are having cash flow problems, okay? Because most of their assets are in real estate, which happens to be liquid
Fixed,
at the moment. Yeah. And also attached to that, we've seen that Saccos are losing a lot of money through cyber theft. Yeah. We saw that for the 17 months to March of this year, they lost 106 million Kenya shillings. So on average, they were losing around 6.2 million every month. What comes to around 200,000 every single day. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot of money. And we'll be also talking about Mwalimu Sacco and Spire Bank. So guys, where do we start?
I think that just shows how the economy, the underlying fundamentals of the economy, how that is doing. Because ideally, for a Sacco, the one advantage they usually have is being able to sell off these parcels to their members as the first step before coming to the general market. So if they're if they're struggling to sell them to their own members, then it shows that either the price is high or there's just not capacity to buy from the members.
And last year it was the lack of capacity.
With COVID.
With COVID and all that. So I think that is my takeaway. It's like the struggle is real in the country right now. People are not looking maybe to put their capital on buying land. Probably they are focusing more on saving and actually saving. And I think there was a report that I saw sometime this weekend. You'll look for it, whether I'll find it, that showed that the savings in Mshwari, is it in Mshwari, that has risen?
Yeah. Actually, the savings in Mshwari are higher than KCB Bank, higher than Equity Bank.
Yeah. It looks like Kenyans are focusing more on saving their actual cash.
It's an uncertain moment.
As opposed to maybe speculating on land, which has been the case. Maybe that sample size is small, but that's my takeaway. The fact that normally this is land that easily would be taken up by the members. We would just have a scheme, whatever, if it's balloting, just divide them into quarters and just guys buy. But it looks like
good recommendation there.
It could be interesting.
That's a good recommendation.
Yeah.
Any Sacco head or CEO who is listening or watching this, Kalia is advising you to subdivide your parcels into more affordable pieces of land so you can dispose them easily.
Acre, 50 by 100. Yeah. That's what they've been doing actually.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm startled at the lack of, is it innovation or just creative thinking in the running of these Saccos? Because why is it so? Land has been the traditional go-to investment for Kenyans, and if you look at the average age of the heads of these institutions, Saccos, they're relatively old people.
Yeah.
Except with the exception of Safaricom Investment Cooperative, which is headed by young people. Even that was trouble at some point. Safaricom Investment Cooperative, they could not give title deeds and all. Anyway, the fact that they're investing in traditional assets like land, I think it's a wake-up call to them. Because, first of all, do you know even the locations of this land is very funny? Because why do you buy land? Very large tracts of land in Siaya. Siaya, if you come from Siaya, you know that's not a place you'd really rush to put your money in.
Okay.
In buying land.
No, I'm trying to question that.
The sound
that,
here now are guys from Siaya coming for your name.
I'm trying to question that narrative.
No.
Why? Okay, give us factors why you think that, Siaya is not, land in Siaya wouldn't be a good investment.
Accessibility. Siaya is very far. That's for one. Far from even Kisumu. If you look at Kitengela, Kitengela had a boom. That's where people, at some point, it was the hot place to buy land.
Yeah.
Why? What were the factors that contributed to this?
Proximity.
Proximity, yeah.
Same as Kiambu.
Exactly. Even Kajiado is becoming a hot place,
Yeah.
For land.
Yes.
Now look at Siaya. I sat back, then I was like, what would take me to Siaya? The infrastructure there is not the best.
Bias now.
No, the infrastructure is not the best. The roads are bad. No, I'm saying this because I had a relative going to Maranda High School.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go there.
Maranda is in which county? Siaya.
Yeah, Bondo.
Kisumu.
Bondo. Where is Bondo? No,
Bondo
it's not in
Siaya.
Kisumu. It's not in Kisumu. Yeah, it is in Siaya.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm talking about when I tell you the roads are not good.
Yeah. But
Yeah. When you see a rich guy taking his son there in a chopper, there's a reason.
No, because
You guys saw
rich.
that? Yeah?
The reason is that he's rich.
Yeah.
So the roads to Siaya, okay, the roads in, just to say what I was saying before, it's not the best. It's not the place I would rush with my money to invest and lock it. If I was buying something liquid in Siaya, I wouldn't mind because I'll go do whatever I'll do, appreciate, then exit.
Yeah.
Locking my cash in land in Siaya, no, not a good.
For me, guys, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why Easter is very hard on Siaya.
Very pessimistic. And he comes from a neighboring county.
Because Siaya is part of the USA. Nyanza elite, Nyanza elite do come from Ugenya, Siaya, and Alego. What do you mean that people are not going to have demand? As in,
look at this kind of narratives that people can't even substantiate.
No,
anyway,
like a good number of I think it's
if you look at the PhD
of
per
the
capita,
elite,
per square,
per
square kilometer,
there's a good
the
portion that's
concentration
coming
of PhD per
in
square
Siaya.
kilometer.
The people there have very good marketing strategies, but you need to go there to see how the place actually is.
Yeah, but people that's home to many
Those people
people.
have even water issues. They have they have a bay.
That's a Kenyan problem.
No, they
It's
have a
even
bay.
Nairobi problem.
Does Nairobi have a bay? Do you have like Victoria, Nairobi? Come on, you can't compare them.
That is the government has not connected them.
But one thing that I agree with is
How many seats do they have in the government?
How many?
Seats.
See, they've been in
Let's not get
opposition.
into that.
Okay, let's not get into
Anyway,
politics.
yeah.
But honestly, one thing that I would agree with Easter is that I have been to Siaya County.
How was it?
Once,
How was it?
and I think the county government of Siaya has a lot to do.
Thank you.
Moving away from that, for me,
that is why.
in this-
That is why
No,
you
no,
should
no,
buy
Kalia.
in Siaya.
No.
The potential for growth.
today
if the government does, if
No,
the
no,
county
no,
government
no,
does,
no, no,
okay,
no,
sawa,
no.
carry on.
today I'm the boss of this conversation, so I don't want it to go south.
It
So,
is the third time Keegan is telling us, reminding us that he's the boss for today.
I'm the host of today's.
Yes.
Dictator.
Okay, now going back to
Patia mnyonge power.
the conversation about Saccos.
Yeah.
The central bank and SASRA recent report that we've seen about cyber security at large in the Saccos is what has really bothered me, because as I said earlier, they're losing an average of 6.2 million Kenya
That's per
shillings every month.
Yeah.
6 million every month. That's on average. That's a lot of money. Comes around, as I just said, 200,000 every month on
Daily.
average. Yeah, daily. Terrible. And do you know why? There is a company known as Seriano. So Seriano is a business consulting and cybersecurity company. What they do is, what they did actually is, in August, mid-August, they did a survey, and they find out that in Kenyan Saccos, 21% of these Saccos don't carry out any cybersecurity audit. They just leave it. Saccos,
Yeah.
they carry out cybersecurity audits only once a year. And now I now see why they're losing money in these amounts. Going back to the Kenya National Economic Survey of 2021, we did a special edition on that. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. We saw that online fraud rose by 529%, okay, during the year 2020. Now, guys, I think this is an opportunity for SASRA. What SASRA should do is actually make it mandatory to carry out and set a minimum of the number of times someone is supposed to do cybersecurity audit, whether per quarter, per half a year, or a year.
Yeah. Yes. Now, this is one of the places where I support regulation. Let it be known.
Because it's the savings of the Sacco members which will take the hit.
Which are at risk,
Yeah. So, as Issa, you've alluded, I think many of these Saccos are still run the old-fashioned way. I don't think many of them are properly digitized. So, if you look at how banks have moved forward with digitization and the steps that they're taking on digitization, compared to what Saccos are doing, I think Saccos have been left behind. Yet, in terms of savings and deposits, like Saccos have a considerable amount of savings and deposits, and also credit that they give people.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the things that SASRA should now impose on Saccos, that they whatever they do for digitization and cybersecurity, just to protect money for people.
Do you know what? I'd love to see the numbers, because according to Dr. Njoroge at CBK, 96% of bank transactions are happening outside the bank branches.
Banking also.
Okay, physical. So I'd love to see the numbers from SASRA of how the numbers look like in terms of online transactions in the Sacco space.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keegan, for recommending that, because now that is value addition, spot on.
Yeah.
You've identified the problem, you tell them what they should do. But although I understand, in as much as I said that the leadership for these, the governance seats for these Saccos are occupied by traditional or relatively old people, it's understandable, because what are the fundamentals of starting a Sacco? It's saving, yeah. And these Saccos started very, very way long ago.
Yeah.
So they were started on trust basis. That is, let's pick an example of Mwalimu Sacco, started by teachers in the 70s, I think, or earlier even. 70s. So these are people who were like, this is a person we trust, so we trust you with our money. You just keep it. Not the reason for appointing this person was trust for holding this money, not managing it. These are very different terms.
Yeah, trust of familiarity. Since
exactly.
We are both teachers.
Exactly.
And the
Yeah. So you keep it safe for us. We need this money 5 years down the line, or 10 years down the line.
Actually, I don't think it was you keep this for us.
Yeah.
It was a group of, ideally, because most of it were professional based.
Yeah.
Harambee Sacco,
Professions,
Mwalimu Sacco,
Police
Stima
Sacco.
yeah. Like, these were colleagues who were like, okay, let's come together, let's pull together some money.
Yeah.
And then, in case of anything, if I need money, we can get from whatever pool that we're putting in together.
Yeah.
So, and then it grew from that. So,
which was, you see, the trust basis was, can you keep this money? Then it evolved from that to, can you grow this money?
No, it was social capital, because it is our money. Like, we were all invested in it.
Yeah.
So we all had a responsibility
Yeah.
to make sure the money does not get lost, basically. So because it's that, like, if you have to look at the foundations of it. So what was guiding it was the social capital between Keegan and myself and yourself.
Yeah.
So because it is our money and we know each other,
And
like,
trust is an element of social capital.
yes,
Understand?
there's trust. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying, it was not like assigned to someone. It was not like me and Keegan came and then we were like, we trust
Yeah,
Easter.
because I was struggling to understand that point.
Yeah, it's not like me and Keegan came and said, Easter, we trust you.
She got
Here's
this
our
money.
money. Yeah, it was like we put together our money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we are responsible for managing however we're going to spend this money.
Then there are people.
And then it grew to the level that, okay, we need actual management
Okay.
to
yeah.
do it, but
Yeah,
it's
so
still
we
our
need to
own
task
money.
But you see,
Yeah,
the
this-
initial people. Now, this is like the main point I was driving to. These initial people who are elected or voted to be, let's say, the board members for these Saccos. It is very difficult to get them off those seats because they were elected by people in generations ago. You know.
This guy is making
So
it sound
getting
like
them
these
out-
people, generation, like.
Okay, see what hanger, but you understand what I'm saying. So getting them off those seats is very difficult
Yeah.
because they'll be like, we are the people who started this thing. We have to be at the management, despite the fact that a lot has changed.
True.
Especially in
Yeah, I think if there's something that probably maybe our generation could change is the thing with most Saccos want you to be like in only one Sacco. Like if you go sign up for a Sacco, they say, okay, you're going to be like a member of this Sacco exclusively.
another traditional way of thinking.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so and I think even if you talk around, you'd find that most people, so if, for instance, if we were to talk out to our parents or the older generation who are more like more rooted in the Sacco culture,
yeah,
it's usually one Sacco. And even for me, when I went to open an account with a Sacco, that was one of the conditions. It was like you'll only be in this Sacco
Alone.
alone. So that's I think if there's something that would allow for this adoption of what's it called, digitization and the like, it would be if people are able to move around Saccos as easily, like depending on convenience, then there would be change. Because the same way we see with bank accounts, people open bank accounts because, okay, let's say something like NCBL.
it works for them.
Yeah, like something like Loop, for instance. Loop became popular because it was like a whole new digital thing. You just open it online, you go pick it up. The reason for me I have a StanChart account is because I was able to just open it through my phone, didn't have to go to the bank.
Yeah.
So for
With
Saccos,
photocopies of IDs.
yes, do you what? Because literally I went to 2 banks to open an account. I went to CDN Bank because I was an existing I do have an account there, and I was like, I want to
I
open
thought you were about to say shareholder.
I want to open this account here.
Yeah.
And they said, oh no, we need a letter from your employer, so what not for
21st century.
Yeah, for us to open that account. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
And then, like, on the other hand, you have StanChart, which basically you open, you download the app, get
You have an
everything.
account.
You have an account. ATM is sent to you
Where you are.
You as in such kind of convenience. So
Yeah.
with Saccos, like if because people are rooted to one Sacco, you're told you need to stay in this Sacco, then you are tied to the decisions of the older or the status quo.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And do you know
exactly.
what, Kalia? I see something in that. I see that there isn't incentive for innovation.
Yeah.
Because when people sign up with you, they are sticking with you. So, when it, for example, if it would have been an open relationship, so to speak, where, you could have different circles, the way we have with banks. That's why one can choose that I'm staying in this bank, not staying in this bank. And so banks have to be very competitive, in terms of innovation and everything, as you said, where an ATM is sent to you wherever you are. So that creates, that innovation. People really want to be innovative so that to grab the market share from another person.
Yeah.
So in Saccos, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that doesn't exist. So any innovation has to be imposed or so it's either it's imposed, as Keegan was suggesting, Sasra comes up and says, okay, you have to do ABCD, or you have to wait for a disaster
To know that it's time for
So that
change.
you wake
that
up.
puts people capital at risk. Then people now wake up, and we do not want to wait for a disaster because many people will be affected by that.
Plus now in our now I don't know why I keep on saying our investors, but now investors know the the importance of looking at the management or stewardship of a company you're about to invest in. How progressive is it?
Yeah.
How
People
how
at the
dynamic
board,
are they?
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of people
how
are
forward
they?
thinking are they?
Yeah.
You don't want traditional people, in as much as they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But these are people who studied like the syllabus in 1970s.
But
A lot has changed.
Still the same syllabus,
that
though.
doesn't necessarily.
The syllabus has not changed.
That doesn't
No,
necessarily.
for medicine. If syllabus doesn't change for medicine,
Wait,
for
wait,
finance,
no,
it
you-
changes
you're
every day.
You're stretching this conversation, at syllabus for medicine. No, actually, what you've said, Easter,
Yeah.
is not accurate, because just simply because I studied in the 70s doesn't necessarily mean that
No,
I'm not up to date.
I
with-
said progressive thinking. I'm not blaming
But
anyone for going to school
progressive
early.
thinking is not a factor of progressive thinking is not a factor of age. Sorry, the other way around. Age is not a factor of progressive thinking.
Yeah.
You can be a young person, but
I did
you're
not say that.
retrogressive
I
in
did
your
not say
thinking.
that.
But that's what you were implying.
No, don't. Now my father will start thinking that I think he's
Wait,
a traditionalist.
But let's set a bylaw for Kenya's market map. Each time you hear Easter saying our
Why
investors,
Easter? Why Easter?
He means investors. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've allowed you
Yeah.
to use our
we
investors.
should have a jar. Every time Mr. says that, you put 50 bob. All right.